The effects of population growth on housing and personal finance. The impact of the population explosion on affordable housing and personal finance. The effects of population growth on housing and personal finance. The impact of the population explosion on affordable housing and personal finance is becoming increasingly apparent. Rising population growth rates are leading to a rapid decline in available housing inventory, resulting in skyrocketing home prices and rental costs that are far beyond the reach of many lower-income households. This problem is compounded by rising wages not keeping pace with inflation, further impacting personal finances and limiting access to adequate and affordable housing options. As the number of people living in urban areas continues to climb, so too does the demand for affordable housing, creating an even greater strain on already limited resources. The significance of this issue cannot be understated as it has immediate and long-term consequences for both individuals and society at large. Low-income families are particularly vulnerable to rising rents, as they have fewer financial resources available to offset any increases. This can lead to an increase in homelessness and poverty, as well as long-term financial instability that affects the entire community. Similarly, a decrease in housing affordability can hurt economic growth, as people are forced to spend more of their income on housing costs rather than other goods or services. The population boom has created multiple challenges for those trying to find affordable housing and maintain personal finances. To ensure access to adequate and affordable housing options for all members of society, there needs to be greater emphasis placed on developing innovative solutions that address this growing issue. Without decisive action now, the consequences of our current trajectory could have far-reaching implications not only for individuals, but also for our economy as a whole. 45 List of challenges created population on affordable housing and personal finance. Decline in available housing inventory. Rising home prices and rental costs. Wages not keeping pace with inflation. Greater demand for affordable housing. Increased vulnerability of low-income families to rising rents. Increase in homelessness and poverty. Long-term financial instability among individuals and communities. Decrease in economic growth due to people spending more on housing than other goods or services. Limited access to adequate and affordable housing options. Greater strain on already limited resources. Immediate and long-term consequences for individuals and society at large. More competition for affordable housing units. Difficulty in saving money due to rising housing costs. Increased burden of debt for those trying to buy a home or pay rent. Displacement of existing communities due to gentrification and redevelopment projects. Loss of affordable rental stock due to conversion into short-term rentals. Higher property taxes for homeowners, leading to further financial strain. Unaffordable childcare costs that further limit access to adequate housing. Rise in eviction rates as people struggle to pay their rent on time. Diminishing returns from investments due to fluctuating market conditions. Discrimination against certain groups in the search for housing. Challenges posed by urban sprawl and overcrowding in cities. Impact of climate change on the availability, affordability, and quality of housing. Limitations placed by zoning laws and regulations on new construction projects. Unavailability of financing options for those needing help with their rent or mortgage payments. Lack of public transportation or other amenities necessary to access affordable housing units. Negative effects of inadequate infrastructure and services near affordable housing developments. Erroneous reporting by landlords about potential tenants, leading to discrimination. Shortage of buildable land available for constructing housing complexes. Limited resources for creating policies that protect the interests of renters. High costs associated with maintaining existing buildings and making them habitable. Unfair practices adopted by landlords to maximize their profits. Difficulty in finding quality housing options that are within a reasonable distance from places of employment. Unaffordable mortgage and loan rates for individuals trying to buy a home or invest in rental properties. Inadequate protection under the law for tenants living in unfair housing conditions. Exacerbation of mental health issues due to lack of stable and affordable housing. Underrepresentation of certain demographics in government decision-making on housing policy. Displacement of existing communities due to gentrification, redevelopment projects. High turnover rates among renters who cannot afford long-term leases. Limited options for individuals seeking affordable housing in rural areas. Negative impacts on communities due to substandard living conditions and overcrowding. Loss of cultural identity among certain populations as a result of gentrification. Unsustainable levels of spending by government agencies on providing housing assistance. Difficulty in tracking and enforcing laws that are meant to protect tenants from eviction. Lack of public education and awareness about the importance of adequate, affordable housing for all members of society. These challenges have serious ramifications not only for those struggling to find or keep affordable housing, but also for our economy as a whole. Declining home values mean fewer investments being made into the real estate market. Rising rental costs can lead to higher consumer debt. Gentrification can cause displacement of existing communities and destabilize neighborhoods. To combat these issues, it is essential to understand the root causes and develop strategies for addressing them in a way that is sustainable, equitable, and beneficial for all members of society. This includes creating policies that protect tenants from discriminatory practices, providing access to more affordable housing units, increasing public transportation options in areas with limited access to amenities, investing in infrastructure near affordable housing developments, enacting stronger regulations around short-term rentals, and adopting financial incentives for developers who construct affordable housing projects. Only through a combination of government initiatives and private sector investments can we ensure greater access to quality housing opportunities for everyone.